Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rezolve.ai's short webinar series, where we break down the concepts that are shaping enterprise AI. Today's focus is going to be MCP, or Model Context Protocol. It's a term you're probably starting to hear, but not everyone yet knows what it means or why it matters, or how it's even different from the integrations that we've been using for years. So to help us unpack this, I'm joined by our CEO and co-founder of Rezolve.ai, Saurabh Kumar. And he works with CIOs, IT leaders, and HR leaders every single day to help bring agentic AI into real enterprise use cases. So, Saurabh, before we dig in, why don't you give a quick intro and share what you've been working on lately at Rezolve.ai?
Hey, Rob. Excited to be here.
Welcome.
I, as the co-founder of Rezolve.ai, get to work with leading business leaders across the country and am excited to see how they're beginning to use Agentic AI to change how employee support happens inside their organization. And one of the ways they get more value out of it is by building tools that are more integrated, more capable than ever before. And MCP is a really core part of that strategy. So excited to be talking about that today with you.
Let's start at the ground floor. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. But in plain English, what is that, and how should enterprise leaders begin to think about it?
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. So we all are familiar with how USB-C works in our personal life, right? You just connect things to USB and it just works. You never think about maybe that printer connection, that phone connection, that laptop connection, that camera connection, that charger in your car. They're all kind of working off a common set of language, a common protocol, and they just seamlessly work across devices. Now imagine an alternative world where each one of these things needed its own connector, its own protocol. You had to figure out how to connect your phone to your laptop differently than your phone to your car to your printer. That would be so much more cumbersome and painful, right? That's the world most enterprises. There are these one-off point-to-point integration. And MCP changes all of that. It changes it with a common protocol, a common handshake, a common way for AI to discover and talk to all of these tools and content and resources and information throughout the organization. So what it does is it creates a really easy way for AI to discover and use tools. And by tools, I mean other software and other application and other bits of content throughout the organization in a really seamless way, kind of like USB-C does in our own personal lives.
That was a great example. So definitions aside, why does MCP matter? In the world of agentic AI, what exactly is it unlocking that older approaches simply couldn't?
Yeah, excellent question. So think of how do you get more value out of your AI? Your AI is so much more valuable if it can actually do things for you, right? Rather than just giving you content and answers, if it can go and work on your behalf, get things done. And to do any of that, it needs to talk to other systems. It needs to get information. It needs to be able to update information, right? And it really becomes truly powerful and capable once it's connected to a whole ecosystem of things inside your organization. And this is where MCP makes AI so much more powerful. Once your AI is beginning to connect to the ecosystem, it can begin to do things on your behalf, and it really takes AI from, hey, I'm just a smart answering bot, to now I'm really capable AI that basically is acting like your assistant doing things on your behalf, right? And it could be everything from working something that you maybe needed to get done on your IT support side, to maybe your HR support side, to maybe filing an expense report on your behalf, to any number of other things that you need done inside an organization.
So as a webinar host, I don't know much about this stuff. So when I hear the word protocol, I just assume that it's another API, but I'm hearing that it's not. So how is MCP different from traditional integrations, and why does that difference matter for these enterprises?
Yeah, I think it's a really important distinction. So API integrations were built for humans to integrate one application into other, right? And they're usually, while they use a common protocol like REST, what they really are doing is they're really building point-to-point connection between systems. So you have to understand each system's APIs, you have to authenticate to it, you have to build an integration to it. and so on and so forth. Now, what MCP does is changes all of that into a catalog that AI can discover and interact and start to use as it needs these tools. So you're replacing a point-to-point framework that was built for humans to use to a common discovery and a common pattern that is used by AI to auto discover and decide when it wants to use. So it lends itself much more to being used by an autonomous system like AI, rather than, hey, it's a point-to-point integration between two systems that that are built mostly for human developers to use.
So another acronym floating around is A2A, or agent to agent. So here's the big question: is MCP basically the same thing with a different label, or is there like a real difference here? And where do they overlap?
Yeah,
Where do they
great,
diverge?
great distinction, right? So agent to agent is the protocol for one AI system to talk to another AI system.
Okay.
And MCP is how an AI system talks to a tool or a data set or a piece of knowledge or some other capability inside an organization. So two ways to think about it, right? If you go to if you're a sales AI system and you had question on, let's say, how to maybe price a certain product that you're trying to sell. In an MCP world, your sales AI might go look at resources inside your company, maybe the policies for pricing, your product information. It might call a pricing system, pricing engine, and give you pricing that way. In an A2A world, the sales AI might talk to a finance AI to get the same information. It does not really need to know about all the tools and policies. It just goes to the finance AI and says, hey, I'm trying to price this new deal for this customer. Can you help me price it, right? So it's basically relying on another AI agent to do the work. They both work great in the AI world. And they both have their own own space in what you're trying to do. So if you've invested in a lot of different AI systems, you might be able to simply take advantage of A2A and have one AI talk to another AI. If you don't have a lot of AI systems, you can just have your AI talk to other tools directly using MCP. They're both very easy and very fast.
So who else is actually using MCP today, and what are they doing with it? Do you care to share one or two more examples?
Yeah, think about it, MCP, as a two-way thing, right? So you can be using MCPs provided by platforms, and increasingly a large number of traditional SaaS platforms are offering MCP layer on top of their existing platforms. This allows a really easy way for you to integrate AI systems into your systems of record or traditional, what I would call legacy SaaS systems, right? So instead of having to worry about one-off integrations, you can rely on that vendor to provide an MCP layer that your AI can integrate with. You obviously still have to account for permissions and security and what your AI is going to have access to and all of that stuff. But so that's one way to do it. And most large SaaS players have announced offerings to support for MCP. In addition, the good news is we live in a world where other people can build MCP. So let's say you have a legacy platform which is not yet supporting MCP. You might be able to find third-party open source implementation where some developer build an MCP for that platform and put it on in the open source community world to be able to use by other people. Nothing else working, you can build your own MCP layer. It's not that difficult. We're as a company that helps client implement it, we can help with things like that as well, right? On the other side, as a vendor, you're also providing MCP for other people to use. So, as a ticketing system, we might want other people to use our MCP to use. So you give that to people as well. So it's an example. So to answer your question, most SaaS companies are beginning to offer it. Most AI vendors are beginning to support it. And obviously the large language models support it as well. So pretty quickly becoming supported both by the vendors as well as by the open source community.
So if I'm a CIO or a digital transformation lead, what's in it for me? Like, what benefits does MCP really bring that move that needle forward?
I think First of all, it improves the capability of your product. The AI products you're trying to deliver become more capable quickly, which drives adoption, which means you're able to hit the outcomes you're trying to hit from a financial or an ROI perspective. From an implementation perspective, dramatically changes the speed of implementation, and it dramatically increases the scalability of implementation because you can do a lot of integrations fairly quickly, put them out there, right? It also future-proof. So if tomorrow you bring in a new tool that supports it, you can easily plug and play into your existing system. So you're not locking yourself into these one-off setups. And lastly, if done correctly, and it's something that still needs to be looked at carefully, but you can make it more secure and more controlled, because in your MCP layer, you can engineer the same controls that you don't have to worry about each one-off API integration, whether it's done correctly, right? So your bot having the right information or the right access, you begin to control it centrally through an MCP layer. So all of those: speed, scalability, better experience, more adoption, all great outcomes for business leaders.
So let's end on a practical note. If a company wants to take advantage of MCP, where would they start? Like, should they look for the MCP-enabled tools, or should they begin building MCP support into their own apps?
I think there's three things I would recommend anyone looking to get started. One, look at whether the platforms you use already offer MCP, and begin to integrate those into your AI applications. You might even think of building in a catalog or a registry of these tools so your AI can easily discover and use them. Secondly, you can begin to MCP enable tools that you may have homegrown or built inside, or you might have built kind of some one-off things. And then lastly, take advantage of capabilities that like platform like Rezolve are offering to connect your AI to these MCP platforms.
Well, Sorb, thank you for breaking down MCP and giving us a clear picture of where it fits into the future of enterprise AI. And for those of you watching, if you're curious about MCP and Agentic AI and how it can actually work inside your organization, especially for employee support and IT and HR, head over to Rezolve.ai. That's REZOLVE.ai to see what we're building. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you in the next session.
Thank you.
Take care.